You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. Good evening, this is Force 13 Live. It's 9 PM UTC this Sunday, May the 7th. My name's Nathan Foy and we're tracking Cyclone Donna as well as the two invests that are active in various parts of the world. 91P to the east of Fiji and 90E in the Eastern Pacific, which is almost promising us that we're going to get a sharp start to the Eastern Pacific hurricane season. I'm joined by three friends right now in the Skype room, the team, David, Leighton and Marcel. Hello.
Hello there.
And good to be here from the east coast of Australia, where Tropical Cyclone Donna continues on a southerly track.
And I just can't get over Leighton's greeting there, remarkably high-pitched, fantastic.
Now, I thought he was going to do my trick.
Yeah, you could say that, yes, indeed.
Yeah, I got you sidetracked, didn't I?
Yeah, it was quite a warm day here at Force 13 HQ. As you can see, it's just about completely gone dark now, at the current time 10:01 PM locally. Let's go then to Skype, and Leighton is there with the latest loop on Donna.
Donna. I forget the storm's name.
And a broken screen on the left-hand side as well, which we'll fix.
Oh God.
But
Please,
that's fine. All we have to do is look at the storm. We're going with 125 miles per hour at this point, though the JTWC went higher than that. Leighton, who's right?
I'd say it's deteriorated since then. But it did look like a classic Category 4 tropical cyclone. Back at the time they said 140.
Absolutely. David, you've not long since woken up, I assume. How is it? How are you finding it? What do you think right now?
Well, looking at the latest floaters on Donna, I'm going to ask the team, does she still have the eye? Looking at it, I say she's definitely still got it.
But it's eroded.
A little bit of cloud cover creeping in. That's my view, but I just going to respond to some communication, and I cited within the team the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre yesterday in one of its advisories, Nathan and Leighton said that it had a 50 nautical mile radius microwave.
Well, I've not seen anything like that today. That sounds wacky to me. Maybe
I
yesterday.
did see that.
What are they saying now? They can't be saying the same thing, surely.
No, I'm just about to check, but I think the intensity has really dropped. Fiji had it down around 921 hectopascals, and but what does one say about the system?
Well, I don't know. What would you like to say about the system? Has the threat to Vanuatu disappeared now? Fiji thinks so because it's moved out of their warning area.
JTWC for current intensity says 130 miles an hour or 115 knots.
That's interesting.
Very. I wouldn't say
because the raw ATCF information, the automated system, came out 3 hours ago with 140 miles per hour, and they don't think it's that high. I don't think it's even 130 miles per hour. I think that's over-egging it a little bit. I do understand that for a little while this afternoon it had the appearance of a Category 4, but I don't think it maintained it for long enough.
No.
It still may come back yet, of course.
Yes, I'm just trying to bring up the information. I was seeing I've only been... It's early over here, 5 minutes past 7 on Monday morning.
No, not that.
Nathan, I think the Vanuatu Met Office, their 6 a.m. Report, and I should mention for the viewers that the Vanuatu Met Office has been updating every let's say minimum 3 hours. They're now up to number 37.
Good Lord.
Advisory,
37?
yes.
They have
37
been very
advisories, would you believe? At 5 a.m. local
Already,
time,
my
severe
goodness.
tropical cyclone category 4 Donna was located at 16.5 degrees south, 164.8 degrees east. It's about 265 kilometres southwest of Santo and 285 kilometres west of Malakula. And as mentioned, it's moving in a southerly direction. And I think she might have picked up speed, Nathan, 20 kilometres an hour over the last 3 hours. And central pressure that going by the Vanuatu office, 941 hectopascals.
Now, something like 6 hours ago, I think it was only going at 9 miles per hour.
Correct.
Sorry, no, 9 kilometers per hour. Sorry, and now you're saying it's 20.
20, and yesterday it was down to 4 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, it's not too much.
It was stalling, but it is what you'd expect because it is steaming now towards the south-southwest, and New Caledonia is next, and the storm moving away quickly would not spell good news for those islands with it being at its current intensity. How strong do you think it will be? The HWRF model earlier today saying it would strike New Caledonia now as a Category 2 and survive to strike New Zealand, whether it's tropical or not, as a strong Neely hurricane strength cyclone.
The latest track from the Vanuatu keeps it at Category 4 to 1700 hours on Tuesday. And it will drop to Category 3
and I find, David, that
on
is very,
the 10th.
very interesting. When we talk about Category 4 here, that's on the Australian scale.
Correct.
If we're going with 125 miles an hour here at Force 13 HQ, and the JTWC are going with something even higher, both of those are Category 5 on the Australian scale.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a look at the JTWC and see what they're indicating.
I'm on the JTWC at the moment, actually. The eye is ragged and 25 nautical miles wide.
Yep.
25. That sounds about right.
Currently tracking south-southeastward, so we're nearly right earlier, Nathan. Under the influence.
South-southeast.
Yeah,
Well, that's different to Vanuatu.
Well, there's all the text anyway. Could we possibly get some more images? Because I think the viewers would like to see close-up images of what's going on. Well, there's 91p. We could talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, but not E.
And there's 90e. Would you like to tell us a word or two on that?
Not much to say at this moment, apart from this.
Really? You've been going on about it all afternoon in the chat rooms.
Oh, have I really, Nathan?
Well, I think 90e is one to keep an eye on.
Definitely, yeah. And there's a
Well, the NHC thinks so. What was that?
Weirdly, there's another disturbance to its northeast as well. Northwest. God damn it. The direction's right. But yeah,
it is that time of year.
Ugh.
Early or late start?
Well, slightly early.
It's getting late over here, so.
No, we're talking about the context of these storms. The season,
it's
of course,
unbelievable.
In the Eastern Pacific, the hurricane season starts in a week. So.
Yeah, and there's already 2 areas of interest. Brilliant start.
Well, that can happen. Donna's more interesting because it's even further out of the norms. It is one of the strongest storms in May in the Southern Hemisphere. The strongest storm until Donna was Rhonda in 1997 with winds of 125 miles an hour, which Donna matches according to our latest observations. JTWC thinks it's gone further than that, beyond that, though Fiji, who are the officials, don't think it's as strong as what we're saying. So who do you believe is the question? And anyway, I'm sure you've got something to lead on to, David.
Just following on to what Nathan has just said, for our viewers internationally, the Vanuatu Met Office, being part of the Vanuatu government, they've undergone a major restructuring of their website, and whilst we know that the Fiji Met Office is the primary forecaster, I'm favouring the Vanuatu Met Office's operation over the Fiji, because I've noticed some information on the Fiji site which one could question, but because Vanuatu and New Caledonia are more in the firing line from Donna, and with the Vanuatu office updating every 3 hours, whilst the information hasn't changed, it's mainly the direction, and the threat warrants the 3 hourly updates compared to the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre, which, Nathan, I think is what, every 12 hours?
6 or 12 in this area, I can't remember. But I've got
With major cyclones, it's every 3 hours, but typically every 6 to 12 hours.
I've got to introduce Craig and Hank, because they've joined us now as well. Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
And Hank in particular, because I don't think you've got long with us. Is that so?
No, I don't. I honestly don't have very many. I honestly haven't really been looking at too much recently because I've been really busy with school, but right now, what I'm seeing of it is it's probably not a Category 4 anymore. It might have been earlier, but that's unofficial.
That's the sort of thing I was going on about. It had the presentation for a little while, but I don't think it was long enough.
Yeah, that's probably
briefly annular as well for a few hours, but not very long.
I wouldn't say it's annular.
One or two little signs, but
yeah, it doesn't.
Not completely annular,
the exact presentation.
Some characteristics there.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but,
especially in the latest frame that I'm showing at the moment.
Yeah,
it had some way to go. It was
yeah.
But what is happening now? Look at that. Look at that last frame.
I mean, it's hard to tell. I'm looking at visible imaging. Let me just pull up RAM really quickly. And I'll give it about 5 minutes to load.
It looks to me as though the eye is almost splitting in two, almost.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't.
It looks to be a banding order on the last frame.
Whether or the eye is no longer complete anymore.
Oh, look.
Yeah, I'm checking. I'm going to check microwave very quickly. It's a possibility that there's an eyewall placement going underway. So
it does look like it in the last.
We've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. And of course, microwave is severely out of date, so I wouldn't be able to know.
Well,
it looks like an eyewall replacement cycle is in progress.
If it was, that would be good news for New Caledonia at least, because we would hope, herald the beginning of a irreversible weakening trend now.
That does look open.
Well, eyewall replacement don't always bring. It does bring on the weakening of the storm overall, but the convection does not weaken and in fact strengthens.
Well, of
when
course.
You got like that, so the rainfall becomes a bigger threat than it already is. And New Caledonia has already been the hardest hit area of the South Pacific this year because, well, even though they only have one storm, but it honestly isn't saying much because the South Pacific has just been so quiet this year. But Yeah, I could see their second cyclone this year, and it might not end too well. I don't know what exactly Cook did, but that's besides the point.
I don't
Yeah,
know either.
looking
I've
at
not seen anything. You would have thought that there would have been a lot of coverage if something did happen, even on the the disaster websites. I've not really seen anything.
Yeah, and
Ah,
I think I saw something saying there was one death, but that might be it.
Right.
But there's no exact damage totals. Anyways, going back to Donna, checking cell imagery, it can't really be splitting in two.
it
I
does
think
look
it's just
open
going
though.
through.
I think it is in
I
an
just-
old replacement cycle, definitely.
Craig has just shared an image, and it does not appear that it's going under our placement cycle, so it might just. Maybe it's just some irregularities within the eye.
Curious. Craig, are you able to speak with us here?
I sure am.
There he is. Very good. What are your thoughts?
Donna. Where do I start?
At the beginning.
Oh no, here we go. It's a rant.
Gosh.
It's gonna be a
Right.
rant.
Okay.
In your own time.
I've not really thought much of the storm apart from it being rather weird.
Hmm.
Well, that's a good place
No.
to start, yes. Weird.
Doesn't that sound familiar? in
It's
Simon
not
Pegg?
really made its mind up whether it's wanting to get the eye out or not until now of all times.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, Craig actually does have a pretty good point. This storm has been This storm has really been atypical, especially in its earlier stages.
Very.
Like, it's pretty rare to see. I forgot what it's called, but it's called a CCC cyclone. I don't remember what all the C's stand for, and it basically means that you don't really have an eye, but you have convection. Like you have an eye wall, but you don't have an eye. So it's very rare. So you really only see it in the South Pacific and the Australian region. It really
it did have a more.
really is
close eye
nowhere else in the world where you see storms like that.
Yeah.
We've
These are
taken
probably
you
the only
away
storm that's
from
done
the Force 13 webcam there because it's too dark now, you can't see a thing. And there is the latest visible loop of Donna moving towards sort of. It is not moving that quickly, I'm not sure.
Well, at least it's moving. It hasn't been moving at all.
Well,
the
it
last
seems
couple-
to be stalling again now, don't you think?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It seems to be still.
On satellite imagery
surprised
can be
me.
deceiving.
Maybe.
And then again, I said the same thing about Debbie, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Well, that was very
we
deceptive,
all remember
actually,
that.
around the landfall.
Yes, because it would go northeast, and then it would go northwest, and then it would go. No, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go south. No, we're not going to go that way. No,
Well,
okay.
I'm
just gonna hit
convinced that
line
it did do a very, very tight clockwise loop.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
tightest clockwise loops ever seen. Literally.
Well, I guess it was. It couldn't have gotten much more tighter than that. Yeah.
What, like Matthew, perhaps?
Then again, Matthew was extremely tight looped as well. Wasn't
That
it?
was a very tight.
Here we go again with Matt.
The Matthew debate. Well, if
Let's just leave it at that.
only-
Let's
if
just
only
draw
we
it.
had
Let's just
Devon
leave
here
that.
in the room. I keep plugging him, but he doesn't take advantage of it.
Oh God!
Let's move on.
We'd be here all night.
That's our first episode of Debate 13 coming up. I think. We still haven't arranged that, but was Matthew a Category 5 discussed?
Oh,
That's what we will
Yes.
do.
End of story. Anyway,
and-
I don't
That's
really
not what
think
we're
this
here to
thing is going
discuss.
to intensify much further. I mean, it's moving over. It's
falling
not
apart.
moving into a very hospitable environment.
It's over
And
26.
compared to what it has been in, it's probably on the weakening trend. Once it gets past New Caledonia, it's probably going to go extratropical. And
That's what the JTWC says.
it'll probably be gone in about 3 days. That's what I'm going to say. And
Extra tropical transition will begin in about
yeah,
hours,
yeah, something like that's inevitable, especially in this time of year.
especially that latitude as well.
It's remarkable that the storm's actually getting this strength at this time of year. Like May is not when you would expect a
It's
storm. like
pretty
this.
unbelievable, to be fair.
And-
yeah.
And here's just an interesting stat for you that really just points out how inactive the Southern Hemisphere has been this season. Donna has been at cyclone strength or higher for 4 days. longer than any other storm this year.
What?
4 days.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
That's ridiculously low, especially for a whole hemisphere to have it that inactive.
Wait.
I
I
mean-
know there's an Arbo a cyclone.
And I will. Well, it's
I'm
close.
sure that was the cyclone
close.
for a few days.
It was close. I think it was like 3.25 days or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, this is gonna surpass it, even if it is also at 4 days.
But if you want to talk about the rarity of this particular storm, it is only the third ever storm to reach Category 3 Saffir-Simpson in the month of May in the Southern Hemisphere. And those records go back a long, long way, even through our analysis on the very extensive Force 13 database going back to before even 1900.
Furthest I know for the best track of the South Pacific's in the 1920s.
The only other two storms that were Category 3s, I can't remember one of them. I think it was in the South Pacific in 2003 or something like that. The other one was Rhonda, as I always mention, in 1997 in west of Australia, I believe that one was.
Yeah, and I think this one probably is the strongest ever seen in May, at least the South Pacific.
It does
Yes,
look
in the
pretty
South
remarkable.
Pacific, certainly.
Yeah, I'm not. There's probably been a stronger storm in the Australian region that I just can't remember. Or, yeah, probably.
Send us a message if you've got any questions. I do have one. Would you say it's a Category 5? If not, will it? But before that, Hank, you said you were leaving us?
Nah, well, I'll get to that. I don't think it'll become a Cat 5. I think we'll
Well,
just...
define Category 5 because
We'll
it's
get-
not really
we'll get to
specific in what
Okay,
scale it's on, whether it's
Saffir-Simpson, no.
Australian scale.
Yeah, Saffir-Simpson, no. Australian scale, it's a higher possibility, but I still would say no.
Well, Hank, it technically is.
A Cat... Well, no, it's not. A Cat 5 in the Saffir-Simpson is not.
on the
Is it
Australian
the-
scale.
I'd say it's
Is
a
it?
Cat 4 if that.
I thought the...
And it's
the
safe
Bureau
if it's
said
a Cat
4.
4 on an Australian scale. It's barely Cat 4.
Yeah, they're all over the place. with
We're
their
running with
categories.
125 miles an hour, which is Category 5 on the Australian scale.
Eh?
Yeah. Okay, well,
Just about.
but then again,
That is true.
Bailey on the Australian scale was a 1 on the Saffir-Simpsons, so it's all over the place.
It is all over the place, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really go through the Australian scale.
Hank, before you go, just a quick one on 90E. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think this thing is gonna develop into at least something, whether it be a tropical storm or depression or whatever. I think it's probably gonna become something. It looks like Guatemala or El Salvador is probably gonna be where it does make landfall, even if it does. Some people have been rumoring this thing might try to regenerate in the Atlantic. I don't want to go there just yet because
Nah, I don't want to go there yet. It's
too far out.
It's too far.
And I just don't really want to go there.
Well,
I've seen some models that at least wanted to develop a depression. Again, that's way too far out.
I think we should have a look at. I think we should have a look at some of the model runs later on in the show.
Yeah,
When we get talking about 90E properly.
I
yeah.
did look at
I
the
mean,
RTE actually shortly before coming on. The GFS does seem to try to regenerate it, but again, it's too far out to be sure.
yeah. Anything past 5 days is something you need to call into question. To be honest, unless there
They
is
don't trust a
really
week.
good model consensus.
Depends on the
Yeah.
model. If it's a
Right.
CMC, if it's beyond 2 hours,
Okay.
you
Do
call
not
it into
trust the
question.
Just don't even check the CMC.
Just go there.
Just steer clear of that.
Or the
now,
UK
'cause-
Met.
Are you a
Hey, they've gotten some storms right.
Okay, a
At
bit better
least
than
they had
some.
What's
something.
this, Nathan? You're trying to say our model's not good enough?
Well, they spent something like £97 million on a supercomputer
I
that
know,
has
right?
62% accuracy.
Oh
When
my
you
God.
flip a
Yeah.
coin that has 50% accuracy, it's not much of an achievement, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Well, I mean,
another argument.
That's literally like someone turning around and saying, "I just bought a computer that's got about, say, 1 gig of RAM and it can literally store anything you and no,
All right,
just no.
let's steer back on course.
Yes, that's please do.
I don't know if Marcel would like to say anything, because we've not heard him yet. But I can't leave him hanging for too long over dead air. Okay, we'll move on. So Donna is moving slowly towards the southeast, and what if it stalls and maybe it starts to move southwest again?
Oh,
Oh my god.
it's just gonna probably try and troll us and end up trying to either do.
Because look at those
another-
latest frames, and I think it's moving south, and possibly the odd
I'd say
element
due
of
safe,
south.
yeah.
Huh?
I'd say it's
Hang
moving
on.
due safe.
Yeah, well, yes, Craig, it's happening.
Hang on.
It's
Hang on.
happening.
You have got to be kidding.
I don't know if anyone would like to screen share at this point.
I am screen sharing with
Oh,
screen sharing.
well,
this
we
for
can't
myself.
see it. Or if you like, you can turn on your webcam to broadcast your incredulity at that latest fact. For some reason, my webcam is not working, so you cannot see my face like you usually can.
Oh god, it is.
It is.
Oh, for the love of God!
What?
What?
It just done the last minute swerve.
No, Craig's just baffled that the storm's actually moving south.
This
I'm
always
baffled
getting
that the storm
totally
is actually moving.
destroyed.
Yeah, it's actually moving.
Yeah,
It's always just getting
that's the bit
destroyed.
where I'm more surprised at that the storm is actually moving for once. For God's sake. God,
Okay,
another
so
But I do think the slower it moves, the more it will weaken before reaching New Caledonia. And
I'm not
already
saying much.
receiving some rain bands, or just about to, I think.
probably not any rain
I'm
bands, probably
probably-
some high clouds.
Imawari shows that rain bands are already over some of the islands.
Really?
Some of them pretty actually intense as well.
Let me just check the radar.
Really?
real
Over
quick.
New Caledonia or Vanuatu?
I don't know the geography of this area.
Well, Vanuatu's the ones on
New
the right,
Caledonia's
and New
the
Caledonia's
one
the
island.
ones at the bottom.
Vanuatu
Okay,
is the Chicken
It's
Islands.
Vanuatu then. It's Vanuatu.
Very
Hang on.
good.
Oh,
That's what would have thought, yes.
oh, I've lost the Skype. Oops.
Okay, that's great.
Found it. How could I
I'm
get
gonna have to
chat
go in
some-
about, let's see, 2 minutes.
Okay. And also 91p. What do we think of that, if anything?
Wait, there's another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
We have.
Is this like a blob next to Fiji or something?
Yes, that's right.
No, whoa. I wouldn't really call it a blob.
What would you call it?
blob?
I call it an area of interesting looking clouds. That's way better than a certain storm that we all hate.
Yeah, blob.
Which storm? Oh, never mind.
Let's not go there.
Never mind.
Please don't.
This is Force 13 Live. It's 9:28 p.m. UTC, 50 degrees here at HQ. If you've got any questions to shoot at us right now, we'll do our best to answer. And someone actually asked us earlier, and we didn't get round to it, unfortunately, about what the sea surface temperatures are and what the wind shear is looking like. Can anyone pull up any graphics on that at all?
I can get sea surface temperatures because there pretty much are no wind shear graphics because the one from Simus is no longer reliable.
Yeah,
so
That's very true.
let me just pull up.
sea surface temperatures are sub 26. The JTWC says.
Okay, so Donna is right around here. So you can clearly see it's moving into an environment where the sea surface temperatures are falling off a cliff pretty quickly once they get past the latitude of, say, New Caledonia. And then after that, it's just going to drop off. So it won't maintain tropical storm status until it gets down to New Zealand, unless the Arlene factor happens.
Well,
but
unless
let's
it's been
just-
given the
let's
Atlantic
not go
Spirit,
far,
yeah,
then.
we should have a hurricane near the North Island, about Category 3 maybe,
on what
yeah,
scale?
if Arlene comes into it.
or on the Saffir-Simpson scale, the North Island of New
Oh, yeah,
Zealand.
definitely.
I'm sure of it.
Easily.
Uh,
Nah, we're just... Don't worry about it.
but
So,
New Zealand
yeah,
will
Donna's
get something from this, I think.
I think they'll just get the remnant low of it.
Extra
Let me
tropical,
just-
but they can hit with a punch sometimes when you get storms like these.
Oh, yeah.
Did it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, easily.
particularly
But I
when
mean, this at least this isn't moving straight right down through the spine of the islands. At least this is moving away from it. And really, the
Yeah.
only way you can tell wind shear now, just going back to what that person asked, the wind shear you can only really tell by looking at satellite imagery. And from looking at this, there really is none. This boundary right here does kind of interest me somewhat, but that is probably just some sort of, I don't know, some sort of boundary that's going to eventually end up steering the storm towards the southwest. It's gonna just scrape the northern coast of New Caledonia.
It's
Probably
worth
gonna take
noting that in the recent imagery the eye has opened. It might be an eye wall replacement cycle.
What these on Solomon means, yeah, the average says just offshore probably, and then move south, and then.
But look at
Just-
that near the
yeah.
end there. How you get that
Yeah,
pressure
I was
deepening.
just about to say that's probably when it's the next tropical cyclone
Yeah.
going
Yep.
into some sort of
Well, obviously,
intensification.
but what's the pressure then? 982?
82.
992.
That's what it
82.
says.
So that is
Yeah.
quite something as well. Just for anyone watching in New Zealand, that's something to watch out for.
Yeah.
Ah,
Because
just
that,
found out
the
why.
extratropical phase somewhat reminds me of what Pam sort of did when approaching New Zealand, because it did deepen before scraping New Zealand.
I can't
remember
call
if
that
it actually
an eye anymore.
directly impacted.
I can't call
I
this an eye anymore.
I would still
That's
call
all I
that an eye.
could think of that had some sort of impact in New Zealand was Cook,
Mm.
Yeah. Cooks.
but that was extratropical, obviously. And unfortunately, this is the time where I have to head out because I have a bunch of schoolwork to do, and I just thought I'd take a quick break and just join this live event really quick. And there are some cops outside. What the heck? So,
You're right.
So-
Not
Actually,
something
did.
you said on here, was it?
what?
It's not something you said
No,
on here that's
no.
got you into trouble.
It's not me. They'll come for me another day.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Well, thank you very
Alright.
much, Hank, and we'll see you again sometime soon.
All right, see ya.
Maybe for an Eastpack storm, hey. That was
Oh,
Hank. And Craig, anything you'd like to add at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to go on about 90E.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk about that, shall we?
90Es. This one's really been. It's actually caught my eye. Very surprising.
Yeah.
Especially with our second disturbance. But then again, looking at the NHC, what they say for it to be absorbed
Mm.
by our main disturbance, which is currently
Yeah.
at 20% within 48 hours for formation, and 70% within the next 5 days. Obviously, the next 5 days will be a bit far-fetched. But to be honest, I would not be surprised if we see this thing either becoming a tropical depression, maybe even a tropical storm.
Some models take it to a major hurricane.
Some
Excuse
models
me?
are saying category
Ridiculous
1,
this
category 2. Yes, Nathan, you are hearing this right. Models are saying that 90E is supposed to become a hurricane.
I'm just trying to taking that in. Okay, well, I'll just walk away from the stream, and you guys can keep going on about the Category 3 hurricane in the East Pacific in early May.
Are you insulting?
70% in the next 5 days. Do you think that's
Yes.
fair?
I'd say so, yes, because most of the models do develop it in around 5 days.
Now, how many? Oh, in fact, shall we take a look at some model runs on that? If you would be so kind.
Yes.
Do said thing, and so what?
What's that?
For God's sake, 18Z's just out.
I misheard. Well, what's that? What do you
We'll have
mean?
to wait for a bit then.
Oh,
18
right,
sets
okay.
just coming out now. Probably won't be finished for quite a while.
That's where it's supposed to be.
So that's the new model run that's just emerging. Well, why don't we just take a look at the previous one, just to give everyone some context here and some idea of what the models
Go
were
on.
saying not long ago.
Oh, crap, it's only 24 hours out.
Well, just take a look at one of the previous model runs.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I'm having
completely
a look
forgot
at
to use the
this,
website.
They're saying,
Okay.
North
I'm going to look at this.
That's
Search,
just
Russia, 10 wins.
What's
Maybe
that, Craig?
more
It sounds like you
before
two are just talking to yourselves on this stream. What's going on?
Yes. They say 975 millibars for the air pressure inside 90E, which is what the GFS
Well,
is saying.
that corresponds
Yeah.
to
It's supposed to
Category
make
2.
landfall.
Then it carries on and the pressure's not really on there anymore afterwards.
Exactly.
So it could
and
be
then
deeper.
right at landfall, the 4 Titans. And
I mean, they were
add
showing
the
a
core
958
pipe.
millibar low earlier making landfall in
Excuse me?
Guatemala.
Excuse me?
Yes.
GFS was showing a 958 millibar low making landfall in Guatemala this morning.
Now that could be a category 4 in that area.
It could be. Because we've got to reiterate here, well, we've got to realise here that this is pretty damn...
Probably 120, 125 for that area.
Well, I've been
You gotta remember, it's close to
researching
the
East
equator.
Pacific storms recently, and I've seen 960 millibars corresponding to category 3.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of those on the best track myself, actually. There's quite a lot of high 960s for C4s as well. There was a category 4 with a pressure 968 millibars on one of the best tracks.
For which one? For which storm, rather?
No, I can't remember. How comical's that?
Well, it might not be true, just so you know.
The West Pacific best tracks are a mess as well.
Well, the reason why it's a mess in old storms in particular is because they only used observed pressures on land, and if a storm's 200 miles away from land, they'll have used that pressure as the minimum, which is obviously
I just tend to use the wind pressure
not correct
relationship
at all.
in that case.
You tend to really use the wind speed because the air pressure wind speed normally does not match up to what either the air pressure or wind speed is saying, because sometimes you can get, well, let's go for a random example here. I've got tons to choose from because I'm spoiled for choice.
Nargis could be a recent one.
Layton, take us through this. This is a previous model run.
Yeah, this is 12Z. Genesis on the GFS in 90 hours for generally moving erratically and gradually strengthening until you reach a tropical storm in about 5 days. And then suddenly it just deepens really rapidly. 998, I think that was just. It's a 975.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah,
hurricane at that
975
point.
there.
In Guatemala, I think that was.
That's El Salvador.
No, I don't. Yeah, prove that crap on it. And then potentially making it out as a remnant low, maybe.
Yeah, you can see
Possibly.
it
That's an
moving.
interesting run before being absorbed by developing
Whatever.
its tropical low.
That's still the
Whatever
same thing,
it
I
is.
think, there, moving up towards the northeast. Well, that's
Yeah.
very curious indeed. So that's what one model is saying. Are the other models
And
in...
Euro, I'm about
Okay.
to load.
Well, I've checked the CMWF. They say a hurricane to form. Obviously,
They
can't
have a
look at anything
hurricane
else really.
landfall in Mexico the last time I saw.
They have it. Look, the last frame I seen didn't really have it over land, but they had it very, very close. From what I seen, but they have a hurricane out of that. NavJam doesn't even have it forming, so.
NavJam's been very
Right.
unreliable lately. Right, one, two.
Well, I don't know. The NavGem didn't do
Ah.
too bad a job with some recent storms.
Euro's developing the low to the northwestern 90E into a depression, it seems.
Okay, so
No, I wouldn't go as far
And
as
then
calling that depression yet.
And then
the
develop.
GFS. I'm looking at the GFS model run on 90E, like the one for the
Euro's
hurricane
completely
section.
changed its track.
Look at that.
Take it out to sea now.
What?
Oh, has it meandering?
Oh my goodness.
This is
Um,
just diabolical. Why can't the runs just keep up with it?
They can't. They're computers.
Well, that's another interesting run there. Certainly gives people something to think
I'm not
about.
even got to bother showing the CMC. It's just worthless.
Thank you.
Come on, can't we have some comedy? Fine, we won't.
I don't even bother with CMC. It's
We
just
won't.
pointless. They should have disabled. Well, they should have taken that out of action years ago.
Oh.
Well,
Then
I
we
hope
wouldn't
they're
get
not
to- then
watching
we
us.
wouldn't get to have a laugh.
The CMC is the CMC is just a running joke. Oh, okay. Now
That's just a bit offensive. That we're not allowed to have any comedy. Come on, we're gonna have a laugh somewhere.
for some reason, the NavGem develops what looks to be a tropical depression in 30 hours.
Oh dear.
That just can't be reliable.
Now, what are we looking at here? This
NavGem.
This is normal. This
Something
is the GFS run on 90E alone. Just 90E.
So we've got a close-up here, and here
Yes,
comes the
this is
pressure.
90.
Is that 967?
This is 967. Yeah,
967?
this is 967, and the wind speeds are Category 2 with wind speeds of 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then we have, what would you round that up to? 90 knots at 87.3.
90 knots,
I'll be generous and put it up to 90 knots. But I can't tell whether that air pressure of 935 is legitimate or it's just a glitch. I'm hoping it.
That's a glitch.
I'm hoping
That's
it is.
definitely gonna be a glitch.
The storm itself there looks pretty good, but
yes, and then overland, and then basically it's sayonara, and then obviously GFS loses it, and then suddenly it doesn't come back.
Let's have a look at some ensemble members, shall we? GFS had a very interesting run the last few days. Oh my god, this is a total mess.
CMC doesn't even have anything on it. Good lord. At least it only has Donna. That is very. Let's see what GFS has
briefly
for
forms a depression, it would seem. Oh, they've got a storm. Briefly.
91p. Let's have a look at it. Oh my god. Oh,
this is diabolical.
What's that, Craig?
The GFS. I'm just looking at the close-up model run on 91p.
GEFS redevelops Northeast, or saying the Caribbean.
Oh dear.
What the
I don't
heck?
think it's gonna regenerate. I don't think it's gonna regenerate.
Okay, so right here is what's supposed to be quote-unquote 91p, which may become a pound.
A pound? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's one of the worst
Craig,
specific best puns
Have you not read our rules? You're not supposed to make that particular joke on air.
I'm sorry.
See, even Marcel doesn't approve.
Ooh, that must be hang on, Marcel. Oh yeah.
It could be worse. We could have had John making puns.
Very true. Very true. Let's not embarrass John whilst he's not here.
Yes, let's not. Let's just leave John. John's a very good.
Let's make the most of it, shall we?
All right.
John's a very good, valuable asset. Let's just leave him out of this.
Absolutely. This is Force 13 Live. It's 9:43 p.m. UTC. We're tracking Cyclone Donna, winds of 125 miles per hour by our reckoning. Joint Typhoon Warning Centers say a little bit more with 130 miles per hour, and Fiji, I don't know what exactly they're saying, but they can't be saying as much as us because they don't have it as a Category 5 on the Australian scale. All very confusing, all this stuff, of course, with the Australian scale and the Saffir-Simpson scale, and 3 different agencies monitoring the same storm. But let me just get to you what they do say. They're saying 115 miles per hour, Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale.
So 10 minutes.
So they are the officials, and that is 10-minute winds of 100 knots. Sorry, no, that is 1-minute winds of 100 knots, because if it was 10-minute winds, they'd be calling it a Category 5. With a pressure of 948 millibars. They are the officials, so by their reckoning, it is the 3rd strongest storm in the southern hemisphere to ever form in May, or exist in May.
Yeah, you'll finally find what I was looking for. There we are, the forecast track.
Let's have a look here, see what is going to be happening in
I believe
States.
Hank has returned.
Wait, did I I did not mean to hit that button. I'm sorry.
Well, it's a good job we told you.
Thanks. You know what? I might as well just stick around just because.
Just for the banter.
Yeah, dang it.
Okay, it is a Category 4 currently.
I had to X out of a tab, not hit join call.
Category 4 on the Australian scale, indeed.
Estimated position accuracy is 55 kilometers. They have it being a Category 4 on the Australian scale until midday tomorrow, our time. Oh,
The
wait,
thing is,
UK
local
time.
time.
we're
For
very more
God's sake.
concerned that it could make landfall in New Caledonia. That's the thing we've really got to start.
Yeah.
So they think it will
about.
maintain Category 3 Sappho-Simpson until for another 18 hours. I don't see that happening.
Nor do I. It's beginning to fall apart, to be fair. That eye is just a complete mess.
Nathan, the Fiji Met Office has it weakening the Category 3 status on the Australian scale, 1800 hours today, and Vanuatu keeps it till tomorrow night.
That's an interesting discrepancy there.
That is very interesting.
But you say 1800 today. Whose time zone is that?
This is the Fiji.
So that's
this will
Fiji
be
time. So that's not.
Fiji time.
That's only about 6 to 12 hours from now. 12 hours.
They have it Category 1 at 1800 hours on the 10th.
On the
On the
10th.
Australian scale. What?
That's 2 days from now.
I
For it to be
doubt it's
Category
above that
1.
one.
I mean, that's down a tropical storm. So yeah, that sort of makes sense. If you do have any
But,
questions
so-
in the next 14 minutes whilst we're still on the air, we will be finishing up at the end of the hour. Do send them in. Start your message with Force 13. It'll light up for me. Anyway, David.
I'm favouring the Vanuatu operation at this point in time because I've noticed a discrepancy with the information coming from the Fiji Met Office, and the Bureau of Meteorology has it. They're not reporting intensity, but their location will be close to Noumea.
Interesting.
And the next Vanuatu update will be in about 13 minutes from now.
I'm finishing up.
Right. We'll be looking out for that then.
No, it's finished, isn't it, 11?
Let's have a look here. See what
That eye's completely destroyed. It's open.
And for the viewers, I do not believe that Donna will make it to New Zealand.
Nor
You
do
don't?
I.
But
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in
Because
what
it's,
capacity?
Because it would have to pass over the Cyclone Graveyard,
Yes, it would.
which is to the south of New Caledonia,
It's sort of,
Yeah, but
towards Lord Howe
probably-
Island.
It would be extra tropical by the time we get there. It wouldn't be fully tropical.
yeah, we would
Extra
expect.
tropical would
we-
have to be Port Macquarie, Gulfs Harbour,
We
which
would.
would make it.
We would expect that, but the graveyard, David. Where exactly? You talk south of New Caledonia, but this storm is projected to move just east of south of New Caledonia. Is it still the same?
Well, looking at the information, it's going to be very close to south. When it so
Well, if
Noumea is definitely in its.
If you bear in mind its recent
Sites.
progression, you could be right there. Here's a loop
I reckon
being
it's
loaded right now.
southeast.
There it is. And you can see there, and there's a little grid line there to help us as well. You can see that it's due south, isn't it?
It does look to be moving due south, yes.
Well, looking at the flight, it's definitely southward, but we've got about 12 minutes for the next update. So let's see if it is on the southerly track, but
Looks like.
its track. The Vanuatu had it going north, then west, northwest, and
It does look like it's done a loop in that.
southeast.
It does look like it's done a cyclonic loop actually in that frame just.
Oh, really? I, don't,
Yeah,
I
it does.
wouldn't say that. It's easy to get a little bit lost there with the circulation. I don't think it's done a loop.
It looks like the eye's done a loop anyway. Whether it's just moved off or anything, I don't know.
I think that's just a little illusion there by the eye continuing to rotate.
Hmm. Okay, let's move on to the current imagery.
More imagery. And I hear,
That's what
I
makes
hear a
it pop.
television in the background somewhere.
Simon, they can either tell.
Well, it sounds like a good time over there, indeed. But the southeastern side of the storm, which was looking weaker earlier today, appears to be the first point in which this storm is going to, well, I wouldn't say implode just yet, but it could implode.
It looks as though it has started to collapse. That oil just looks like a mess.
There's a question there, David, this is probably directed towards you. Did Cook go into the graveyard? And, well, I can answer it for you, really, 'cause it's a pretty obvious answer. Yes, it most certainly
Yes,
did.
it did.
Yes, and what, Cook went down, New Zealand?
Yeah, we were talking about Cook earlier, actually, David. I'm not sure if you're aware of any damages or effects that it caused. Ultimately.
I'd have to come back to that one.
Okay, well, you'll have to do that in the next 9
there's
minutes
enough
if we're
of
going to
the
get an
model
answer on air.
to-
But what we're looking on to now?
I'm going to see if the 18Z model run
No,
It's gonna
that'll
be-
take some time. That'll be
That'll
another
take ages.
should be
half hour
about
or more.
3-4 days out by now, so I'll see what it's got.
I'm amazed if it's even up to 100 yet.
It is up to 66 hours.
66. Well, what's going on
So
at 66? Let's have a look, shall we?
I'm on the wrong model, I think. No, I'm not. I'm on GFX.
Just go to 66 and see what's there.
I'm on the wrong basin at the moment.
Didn't look like you were.
South by West Pacific.
Oh, I was
Oh,
talking about
North
the East Pack,
Devon.
to be honest, whilst you were looking at. But go
Right.
on. But whilst we're here now, let's take a look at what the latest GFS run expects. There you can see, yeah, clipping, moving over those northern islands of New Caledonia. I did know the names of them, can't remember at this point. And then continuing towards almost a straight line, really, towards New Zealand.
Yeah, it looks like going direct south to west. That could be a category 1, category 2, maybe.
It will weaken substantially, but David, you acknowledge that it may well deepen quite rapidly when it turns post-tropical and affecting the North Island of New Zealand.
Yeah, very clinic forcing more.
Possibility, and I've got a news report from the ABC on Cook.
Yes.
It was packing winds of up to 200 kilometres an hour. The gales brought down coconut trees, blocking roads, forcing residents to seek shelter indoors. Flood and waves as tall as 10 metres were also forecast by the authorities.
But no
And
effects, really, apart from those coconut trees.
Okay.
true. And New Caledonia had not experienced a direct hit since Cyclone Erica in 2003.
Yes, that's right. I remember making that
Love it.
point. Indeed. Okay, well, I think we're pretty much finished here because we've spoken about everything that we were planning to talk about. This was Cyclone Donna, still Category 3 according to us at this point, 125 miles per hour. Fiji say 115. The Joint Typhoon Warning Centre think that it is the strongest storm ever in the month of May in the Southern Hemisphere. They're not official, however. They say 130 miles per hour. The record was set by Cyclone Rhonda in 1997 with winds of 125 miles per hour on Force 13's reanalysis, which I hasten to add was done long before Donna formed. There's no conspiracy here. It was upped from 115 to 125 in our analysis of it that we did last year, and is one of only 3 Category 3 storms on the Saffir-Simpson scale to have existed in the month of May in the Southern Hemisphere. Leighton.
Yep. I do think it was a category 4 earlier, though. Around the time we were doing the update, because the Varrock had been leaning around 6.5.
Well, if it did, it was very
Few
brief.
hours.
I personally think it was too brief, unfortunately.
Well,
Yeah.
it was hanging about raw T 6.5.
Advanced is 6.3 peaked at. The other two peaked at 6.4, 6.5.
That's Cat 4.
Yeah, it's Cat 4.
Yes, but for how long? Not very.
It's about 2-3 hours.
Well, that will certainly bear interesting scrutiny during the post-analysis. And don't forget, every storm that forms this year, we are writing reports on at Force 13. We've already finished up the first 15, I think, or 14 or 15 storms. We finished Marutha the other day, and the Arlene report is coming out this week.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting indeed.
I don't think it's going to be that interesting, to be honest, because we pretty much agree with
How are you going to explain the Genesis over 17-degree waters?
Well, indeed.
And
Love to see that one get pulled off.
I've also actually written a report on Arlene, if anyone's interested.
So have I actually as well.
Here's the contest, I guess. Gee.
Here, 1 second, let me just find a link. I'll post it in the chat. What do you mean I need permission? It's my own account.
What?
I hate this computer. And I think we all know that.
Well, whilst Tank deals with his troubles there, I'm sure you can post the link into... Well, it's online as well, isn't it?
You can't post the link on YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't you you posted it on Force 13 International, didn't you?
Yeah.
Force 13 International is one of our channels on Facebook, which where many of our contributors post on there. It's quite interesting. We've got two. What was that? We've got two pages on Facebook: the main Force 13 page and Force 13 International. Take a look at both of them, and you'll find a lot of interesting stuff on there. And of course, you can also find us on our many other mediums on Twitter at Force 13. And you can also add Fool13, FOOL13 on Skype, and add extension 9094 on Discord. But with 2 minutes to go, guys, the floor is open for your closing comments.
The Fiji Met Office does not regularly update its track chart on Donna.
And Leighton posted his link wrong in the chat. Well done, Leighton.
You can't link it, I don't think.
Oh my gosh.
It's now Aiton's database, which you're looking at.
Let's say.
And excellent. I've given you enough plugging now. Craig, anything you'd like to say?
Right, there we are.
Well, I've just finally managed to see what's just going on in the States, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, but it's only just the one. The storm doesn't itself. Where is it? I am honestly struggling to find it. Which one's that's a severe warned? But there is a severe thunderstorm warning out in effect. Let's read out where it is first. That might help me out a lot.
Whilst you're stalling there, David, have you got any closing comments for us?
Eastern Dam, right, that's what
Just waiting for the Vanuatu office to update, but the satellite imagery is clearly showing 91p and Donna.
13 miles northeast of Denver, Craig. Severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes.
They will put up the radar.
Alright. Unfortunately, you guys, I know you like tracking the severe weather, but we don't have time at this juncture, I'm afraid. But just talk to Craig and Leighton on the Discord channel or on Skype if you'd like to talk severe weather. That's all for now, though. It's just about to turn 10 PM UTC this Sunday, May 7th. We'll have more updates on Donna coming up. We'll see you again soon. Good night.